Alright guys, this is another tutorial about the Euphoric kick, or just a normal hardstyle kick, which I created in the last 2 weeks actually. So it took 2 weeks to create this kick, and I have, as you can see there, I have quite many versions of the project file. So there are like 18 versions or something, or so 17 versions, I don't know. Well, it must be 15 or 16. Anyway, yeah, I will just show you what you're gonna get. Well, you can't actually follow this tutorial, but yeah, this is the kick I created. So this is actually my style, how I like it, and that's how I want to have it. So yeah, that's the sound. Yeah, how did I do that? How did I create that kick? So let's start, if you saw my other videos, let's just start with the punch, which I usually start with. So I had a reference kick, by the way, which is this one. I guess it's been, I don't know whose kick. I got some kind of example kick folder, like, I think it's this one, yeah, Dirty Sounds. So, which I used a bit just to compare, but I don't think we need that now, because this type of kick is quite unique. So this one is quite unique, and it still has the sound a hardstyle kick needs. And I also tried it in a project. I'm using it in a project, in a track which is going to be released quite soon. Yeah. So let's go. Let's start with the punch. The first thing I did actually was, as you can see, there are many layers just for the punch. We start off with the talk. So there's the talk. Yeah, this is going to the attack. So this is my talk. You can't actually. Well, it's no special sound. And I created that. So let's zoom in and look at the stuff I did there. So this is just white noise. So I have a sample which is just plain white noise, and I created that from Sylenth, I guess. Yeah, so you can just use Sylenth and then take the white noise and just record it, and then you have the white noise, and you can use it for any shit. The white noise has a nice feature. It actually contains every frequency. So I would like just to show you. So I just like to show, because I know that people like wondering, what the fuck is this? I don't understand. So let's take silence and put the white noise on. Oh, well, actually we should just first you need the preset. So let's put the white noise, which we can't hear for some crazy reason. I don't know why. Of course, yeah. Ouch, that's the white noise. And if you just put some like Voxengo span or something, you can just see the frequency, the curve. So you can see that there is actually every frequency. Let's just take another. Let's just take this one, as this can actually freeze, and you can see that there is every frequency. So you have low end, you have mid frequencies, you have high frequencies. So yeah, and that's why I like using white noise. So I took a sample of white noise, and here in this case I just pitched it down. So you can see that I pitched it down there to -27, and you kind of get just a low tone, you know. And I did the same thing with this one, but just not so much. I did that just by hearing. So if you actually look at the punch or the talk of a normal hardstyle kick, where is my kick now? Actually, we need that. So let's just have a look at the sample. So this is the final result, and if you just look at any kick, they look like this. So usually they have a very like high-end part in the very beginning of the kick drum, and then it's going to some low end. So this is actually no low end, it's still high frequency, but if you kind of zoom in, you can see that this is much higher than this. So you kind of have a part that is very high end, and then you have one which is has got some low end, and you can see that we are here on 400 milliseconds somehow, and this is ending in 415 milliseconds. So this thing actually is 15 milliseconds, so it's really short. It's just the zoom that makes it now looking like low frequency stuff. So if you now zoom out, you can see that there is actually no low frequency. So that's how I created it. I took the I call that sub-talk, just to get kind of snappy sound, you know. That's how you get this. So if I just switch that off, that sample, you might hear that it's not as snappy. So let's switch on again. It's kind of snappy now, and that's what we want. Yeah, so did I do anything with these? Yeah, well, on this one I didn't do actually anything. So there's just the equalizer, but it's not activated, so I just leave it there just to yeah, if I want to change something. So I got a main talk here, so these are linked to this one. And there's just a high cut and some saturation added. And I found out recently that you can also apply, sometimes it's very nice to apply some simple bit crusher. So this one is a bit crusher, it's just bit reduction, nothing special. So you might have any other plugins. If you're using FL, just take a bit crusher and see what's happening. So it can be interesting. So yeah, just try that out. I think I didn't need that in this case, but yeah, I bounced that. And this is the bounced punch, talk. And it sounds different now. As I pitched that up, I guess I also pitched this one. No, well, I just do that. I look at it and I see, okay, maybe, oh, I didn't really get the right frequency. So it needs to be higher or it needs to be lower, and then I just pitch it. You can see that the frequency here is much higher than there, and that's why I just did that by looking at and by just hearing. So I just found that it's better to have it high, and so you can see that in the actual comparison in this kick. You can see that as well, that it looks like this. There might be the opportunity, the possibility to use a snare and pitch that snare very high. As snares tend to have such kind of character. They start with some kind of white noise and then move over to lower frequencies. Well, I do that sometimes, but actually I really like to create these by hand and just do them, create them on my own. First, you understand how the architecture of the talk works, and it's very important. This is a very, very important part of the kick. So I will just show you again. This is the final kick, and we just now cut off the talk. It's no kick anymore. It's just shit. And the part which is actually the punch of the attack, I can cut that off, and it doesn't really. You can see that this part actually doesn't do so much. Okay, so the talk, the very talk, is very important. And yeah, that's it so far about the talk. So yeah, just try to layer that a bit. I layered that again with some white noise here, and this is the recorded talk, the first part, and this is again, it's the snare which I just put there. I decided just to change it a bit, and yeah, just added it, and I'm sending this to the attack main. So I have, just to understand my routing, I have the talk group here, which is actually now this. So this doesn't matter now. I just use this as a kind of production channel, and this is going to the attack main. So which is my whole punch, the whole attack. It's this part. This is the attack main, all this stuff. So yeah, this is it's going there, and this actually I think we don't need that. This I don't want to confuse you, but the whole project is a bit messed up, I guess. It's quite hard to get your head around, as there are so many layers. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is the actual punch or attack, which is following the talk. So I got another very nice group for that, I hope. Or maybe I don't have. Yeah, there it is. Okay, of course. This is my punch. That's the punch group. So this is mainly, it's the character of the punch which is created. So sounds like this. And I put just a snare. I pitched that down a bit, and just to give that a bit of character. And I did some EQing, of course. I gave it some drive with saturator, and I automated it. Yeah, actually, I can't explain you why I put this automation, but I did that just to because it sounded nice. So I didn't want to have something that was coming after, I don't know, probably some crazy noise, or maybe it doesn't even matter anymore because I moved the sample or something. And let me just tell you another thing which some people might not know about Ableton. This lock symbol here actually locks the automation. So if I move that sample now, the automation won't move. So you see it's not moving. And if I unlock that, the automation will also move. So that's what you don't want. So lock that. Yeah, so this is the character. The main character, and there are some crash. I just wanted to give it some hiss sound, you know. The sub punch, which is just the distorted 909, which you saw in other videos already. So if you want to know how to create this distorted 909, yeah, just go to the tutorial by Eternice and you will see how it works. He's showing that in a very nice way. You can just see the settings and try to create your own distorted 909. So it's been done in Logic, unfortunately. You can, of course, reach the same goal in FL Studio or in Ableton or Cubase or whatever you're using. So, yeah, but I just... yeah, I did that in Ableton, in Logic, and yeah, I'm using that for any kick. So this is just a basic sample I use, and I also have some tutorials about Hardstyle kicks, and I'm using this sample too. So this is kind of the sample that I always use for any stuff. Right. Yeah, this is the punch. We just should talk about the punch. So let's... This is a snare, which is going to the main punch, which is here. And there is a crash. It should be going to the group. This is going to the group, this is going to the group, this is going to the main punch. So actually only the snare and this kind of the character is going to the main punch. I did that in order to be able just to work on these together and not to affect the others. And this is going to the group, and the group is being worked on again. So yeah, I will explain now a bit. So this is only the main punch now. And yeah, I did some EQing here to just emphasize the character, which is kind of between 400, 200, 400 hertz and 1000 hertz or something. So now something changed, which is very bad actually. It's quite dangerous to touch anything. Yeah, some EQing, and I put that to distortion just to get the character a bit more out of this. Yeah, and there's some gain device because I just had to find out something probably. And the Fab Filter Saturn with the preset hip hop puncher, and I just emphasized again the mids and tiny bit of the high end I just took down because it was too high. Yeah, so you can hear that there is no real high end. And yeah, this is going to the main punch, to the group where all the other stuff is going to as well. So yeah, if you're kind of interested in what I did there, I'm honestly telling you, this stuff is just trying. You know, you just apply some EQ you start playing around with this, okay, you will see the main EQ of my tail and you will think, what the fuck did you do there? I promise, this is the craziest thing. But yeah, this is just trying, you know, you just try. I don't use any of these presets often if I produce some kind of these hardstyle kicks, as I don't actually find them controllable. I can control the distortion better by just using an EQ before the actual distortion. I've just catch a cold. I'm sorry for just sneezing or whatever. Yeah, there's also some EQing. I took some of the higher mid frequencies and some low cut and such stuff. Yeah, and this is going to the main punch now, where I also did some EQing, and yeah, you can see there's an automation, so it's just automated here. There's an automation, so there's the frequency being automated just to make it going down a bit to create some movement. Yeah, so this is an EQ I just put, and I found that I switched that on. I kind of found that actually worse with this one. So what you can do, just if you're not satisfied with the sound, you can actually just go into your effect chain and then just deactivate some plugins and just try what it could be like, you know. Maybe you will just find out some, yeah, that sounds better without the EQ, or you can also swap the EQ, put it to the end of the chain or something like that, and you might find out that it sounds better, or of course worse. So this is just trying. And yeah, I just found this one not as nice as without, so that's why, yeah, there's an easier EQ, and I still leave them there, just not to delete everything, so I like to have control. Okay, this is the punch going to the attack main. So to the attack main, we already talked about the talk, which is also going to the attack main, and the punch and the talk are going both to the attack main, and they are not being processed a lot here. I'm just gaining the mid frequencies a bit, and I'm just giving it an automation again to make smoothly going down. And I put a tiny bit of reverb by using Valhalla Room, just to create space that actually has the character of the punch, as the tail of the kick kind of fills up the room, and we don't want the room to be filled up by the actual reverb of the tail, as the tail kind of is our reverb in some way. So it's no reverb, of course, but it kind of is our reverb, as the room is really filled up with the tail of the kick. You can see that in the whole in the sample of the kick. You see that there is much dynamic. The punch is not as loud as the tail, and the tail is filling up all that space with the high and the mid and the low end, and that's why I like to put some kind of a tiny reverb on the punch, just to give the punch kind of the character within the tail. So the tail and the reverb of the punch create the room. It's not much then. I like kind of hard punches, so there are much softer punches, of course. I like them when they're like this. It's actually nice. You can make them standing out in the leads later, or with screeches or something, and it's also nice to sidechain them. I mean, like sidechain the lead on the punch, just a tiny bit to get it more standing in the mix. Yeah, that's why I like. So this is the attack main, and you can see the waveform here. It's very hard actually to achieve that. Well, for me, it's quite hard to achieve such waveforms. So you see that I layered some more stuff to the punch. So the punch is now the talk, which we had in this one. This is yeah, there's just some white noise, the talk and so on. It's going to into the main attack. And I found that I do need more, and I just added another snare to that, which I took the resonant frequencies out. Just a bit, but you can hear that. And there's another snare which I didn't process in any way because I obviously liked that one. And there is a sub punch. In this case, it's some Kashmir punchy kick. Yeah, and actually, just some other crazy noise, which is actually from the distorted 909, which is just creating some kind of hiss again, very high frequency. So you see that there is a low cut and there is only high frequencies. So, and these are even boosted. So yeah, and altogether it's the main attack, and it sounds like that. All right. Is there anything else I should say about that stuff? Well, I'll later on talk about the automations of the main attack to kind of create a smooth bridge between the attack part and the tail. But now I'll talk about the tail, which will be, I guess, much worse. As you can see, these are my layers, and I know you might think, okay, I can do that in another way and could be easier, like use 3 samples and layer them. Might be. I just used all these layers because I found that nice, sounding good, and I wanted a really characterized kick which can be distinguished. So this is no kick, I think, which one couldn't distinguish as some kind of special kick. So I really wanted to have this the character very unique, and that's probably why I just added something here, something there. And yeah, let's first talk about the about the high-end tail. So some names are not correct, but yeah. This is the high-end tail, and it doesn't sound very interesting. So that's the high end. And I just put the whole kick, I put it on the second bar, as you can see, in order to be able to move these to the left. So this would change something probably, which I obviously did, and it did change something which I obviously liked. So yeah, let's go to the first. This is some... So there's actually only some mid frequencies there, no high end. There are many automations. So there's this EQ is automated just to make it kind of going down to create that filter effect. Another one. So these are just effects to kind of create movement. There's a tiny Valhalla plate also being automated. And it doesn't do much. But it kind of gives this sound a bit more crispiness. So yeah, you could now just not have this. You could just deactivate it and the kick would probably sound the same. But these are the tiny things. So you have 50 of these tiny things, and that's what will make your kick unique. Yeah, there's another automation just going down, and there's some volume automation. So it's going up here as the kick is kind of getting quieter here. So I decided to push the tail a bit to get it louder. Righty, the next thing. Yeah, this is a nice high character. You see there is just tiny automation on the low cut. Some Saturn, I guess it's the hip hop puncher again. Yeah, just play with that, try what sounds nice. Some gain automation, and actually in Valhalla room here, not automated, just to give it a tiny bit of crispiness again. And why did I use Valhalla room here and plate on the other? Yeah, I don't know, honestly. Don't think in straight ways if you try to make kicks. I'm telling you, this is the real secret. If there was one, I would say don't think in straight ways. Don't try to follow some tutorial exactly to get the exact sound. Just try to imagine what you would like to have, and kind of work out the sound and try. So this was 2 weeks of trying. Yeah, first I think it was 1 week of trying, and then I was not successful. I didn't have what I wanted. I can show you some other kicks actually which derive from this project. So some other versions. So this is the first version, and you can hear that there is too much reverb. There is no definite character. Yeah, I didn't like that one, so I tried to work it out again, and then I created another version which I like a lot. So this is a nice one. I like that, and it was really good, but I still didn't find it exactly outstanding, and I created another version which kind of has more of the hiss and kind of the high end, and a bit more of the movement going down. You can hear it's all going, a kick that it's going down, you know, and that's what I wanted to have. And this is actually it's another version, and this is for me that was too kind of, I don't know, too much stuff going on. I didn't know what I actually should listen to, so yeah. And I also decided to do that in F. So first produced the kicking G, and then I really did something crazy within the project. I pitched everything down, every of these samples pitched down to F, and tweaked a bit some equalizers and so on, and I found it much better than in G. Yeah, I have some more versions. So this one is I guess it's kind of the first version. Yeah, you hear it's in G. And now there's getting character. And this is another version, so it's going worse and worse now. And this is kind of the way you could hear now, vice versa, to reach this kick. So you have to produce some shitty kicks like these. I just keep them. I don't know why, to get a nice one. Okay, let's talk about the group, or let's go on talking about the groups here. So this is some, it's just another high character. So there's movement in the cutoff here. There's Saturn. In this case, kind of just boosting the high end a bit, and the mid frequencies are just just put down them a bit. Some more Valhalla. Some gain automations. I won't now show you every gain automation because these are quite boring. I wanted to put a wave shaper. So I guess this is it's the Computer Music Magazine wave shaper, actually. So from Cable Guys. I got this magazine. I'm not trying to advertise for this magazine, but I got it from this CD which is there. Yeah, some strange Yosemite Mountain, and probably something else behind. What is there behind? Oh, I actually wanted to see this one. Where is it? That's interesting. I guess. Yeah, you see, these are the same. So I just wanted to, I don't know, boost it again. I don't know what I did there. So, that's the problem about hardstyle kicks. I just can't tell you what I did there. But the sound is cool. That's why it's fine. Another one. Just very high, crunchy sound. So there must be a low cut here, and just get very crispy sounds. Put that to the wave shaper. I now want to talk about why I did actually push these to the left and right. So I just found the sounds nice, but I decided, just move them and try what's gonna happen. I can do that now. So just move it, and the sound will probably change. Okay, this is not very definite, so let's move this one. This will be. So you can hear that there's something is changing there. Yeah, and to just try to move them. And I found that it sounds nice in this position. So yeah, there's something else here. It's just another very, very high sound. Another EQ and boosted here. So I think this might be even the same EQ than on this one, which you already saw. Yeah, I just copy pasted that. Yeah, so that's what's happening. That's what I did. And another one. So again, just some movement. Just automate the mid frequencies here to create the movement, and I will just switch it off. And you hear that there's much more movement. Yeah, and another just a low cut. Yeah, okay, and yeah, this is going to the high-end tail, which is a very, very, very disgusting. Oh, there's a main high-end actually. So some are going here, which are then going to the group, and yeah, you see that there's quite a lot of shit. So yeah, this is just EQing, creating movement. Let's listen to the high end. EQing, putting on a phaser, putting some more delay, reverb with an automation, distorting that. Actually, I didn't distort here, but I found that it sounds different. Yeah, that's how it works. Just some more plate reverb here with an automation. So there's much of reverb automations. Another automation here. These guys are very nice. They just add white noise to the actual sound. So I will switch them off and you will see there's a... They really add crunchiness, and these are great. So Erosion is one of the best plugins in Ableton to, yeah, usable for hardstyle kicks. I use it on every hardstyle kick. There must be at least 5 of these, so they're really good, and it's a nice plugin, and it's very easy to handle. So you just can modulate the frequency. You can switch the frequency here. You can say, okay, I want to go low end somewhere there. So this is actually like the equalizer scale in the background. You can change the width of this. So this is actually like the Q and some kind of and some equalizer, just vice versa, and the amount of it. So yeah, that's what you can do with these things. Yeah, another Saturn, another Q. Let's have a look to the fab filters. There must be some movement automation again. Yeah, some Valhalla room here, also automated, and I put the whole thing to mono. So let's just listen to the stereo signal if there's a difference. So put it to 100%. Well, actually there's none, but I wanted to be sure. All right, this is going to the high-end tail, to the group. Yeah, that's the group. I put a rack here to create one channel. So this is actually, the signal is coming now from the left and going to both. And this one is going to Saturn, and this one is going just without any processing, just going through. And I just, actually I'm not using it, but yeah, I did that in order to be able to kind of create a dry wet mix by using Saturn. As I didn't like the dry wet mix of Saturn itself, I don't really know why. I don't even know if there is some kind of logic behind this, but I found it in that moment. I found it good to do it like this. So you don't have to do it like this, of course. I'm just giving you some ideas what you could use, what you could try. So there's some multi-band distortion now, which I just actually tried out. So what this basically does is, yeah, you click on the equalizer here on the actual part of the distortion plugin. And yeah, you can distort this from 20 hertz to 400 to 500 hertz, and you can distort the 500 to 1.6 kilohertz. You can just distort that in a different way. And the high end, I distorted a lot, as you can see. And yeah, I just played with this and used that just to create some nice sound, which I wanted. So we can take that now just to try that. We can take it out. And this kind of adds some thickness to it, a bit, tiny bit. So the sound doesn't seem to get louder, but it seems to get thicker, better somehow. Some more EQing here, some movement. Yeah, just took off some frequencies here, which I didn't like. Let's switch that off. And actually, the way you work, it's not that you just first create this and then you create this and then you create this. So of course you start with creating some, you take a sample and then a character sample, and you put a sub bass sample, and then you put these together and you find, okay, this is nice, but I want it to be more like, I wanted to have some hiss in the, I don't know, after a second I wanted to be having some hiss or something, or some low frequency or some downgoing or some filter, whatever. And then you add this up to, you just take another sample, you add this, you drag it, you push it, you pull it, and you distort it, you EQ it, and you find, okay, that's good, but now I think it should have some more mid, which should be moving in the mid frequency. I want some mid frequency moving, and then I'm taking down the mid frequencies of the stuff which I already have, and then just put an extra mid frequency channel, which I just process in a different way. So you're not putting these first and then kind of, yeah, you know, okay, if I have the sound like this and I will combine it with this sound, it would exactly sound like this. You don't know that, and I didn't work like that. So I'm just browsing through now. So I also found sometimes there you can see that I just found, okay, I didn't like that. You know, I just switched that off. You can just understand. Let's just listen. So it actually does something that might sound cool for you now. You think, okay, it's cool, but in the whole thing, it doesn't sound nice because this is being processed somewhere else again, as the high-end tail is going to the main tail. All right, yeah, this will be okay. So this is the high-end tail. It's actually not so much high-end, as there is another group which also contains quite much high-end. So this is the actual hardstyle sound you were looking for, I guess. Yeah, interestingly, if you just play the kick without the boring one, which we just talked about. Okay, now you heard that. Let's play it together. Yeah, it's kind of missing something now. So you do need this one. Okay, there is not much. This doesn't do much, but it creates the movement and it creates the uniqueness that you want. Okay. Oh, we didn't actually, did we talk about all of these here? Yeah. Okay. There's just some more EQing. Oh, this is so one of these nice EQs that I just push and pull it everywhere, and I just think, okay, that's cool, that's nice. Okay, that's the right sound. But I got one which is even worse. I guess it's not that one. The worst will come. So you just push, pull, drag everywhere, and you find that cool, and then it's cool. So yeah, probably you even create some automations within to get some more movement. Yeah, let's just look at it and let's see what's happening. Oh, that's so crazy. What did I do there? Yeah, that's basically it. This is the high end. And yeah, well, actually we didn't hear the sound, but anyway. Yeah, this is I call that grain high end. I don't even know if grain is the right English word, but I just established it for myself now. So yeah, we have some more different samples, so differently processed samples. So there is some movement I created. You can use, of course, you can always use the fab filter for that. No problem. Okay, you might think, whoa, he didn't do anything there. I did do something there. I pushed that to bipolar, and what that does is it gives me the ability to work or to distort the sample differently to the positive and negative side. So actually, you have to imagine that there is kind of a zero line where the amplitude doesn't have any kind of gain, and you see that it's going up and down, and I can now manipulate the sample, like I can manipulate this in a different way than something that is going down, like this, for example. So this one gets a different distortion than that. So because this is going down, it's going up, and that's what this does. So there is the positive area, and this is the negative area, and I can just drag this and push and pull that, of course, and get kind of different distortion. And I just wanted to swap the sides, I guess. So let's just record this distorted thing to see what I actually did there. Oops. Okay, now again. So this is the sample, and yeah, it looks quite different. And I just swapped the sides of the. So you can't actually see that it's kind of swapped, but that's what I did. I don't know why. Yeah. So yeah, some more EQing, blah blah blah. And the next one is this, and I put isotope on it again, and you can see that I did that again here. So yeah, let's probably look at that, and maybe we will understand better what I was trying to explain you. Where is my record channel? There it is. Ah, that's a good sound. I like that one. Okay, we also can't see that. I guess it must be in a position like a V or something. Anyway, so yeah, just some more EQing, just some movement here. So make it going down a bit. Another isotope, and some Valhalla room, some reverb, and another Q. And the last one, yeah, it's also active. This I processed with isotope, and there it is again. So I did the same strange thing. That now you can see it. Yeah, that's what I was looking for actually. So yeah, you can't put them like if you want to swap sides, you kind of have to drag both of them down or up. And now you see that it's not symmetrical, so there is actually nothing moving up. So there is a line here, but nothing is moving up, and this is kind of a sound that I like very much. And you can see that in the final kick sample that there is a sound going down, but nothing is going up. And I found that nice sounding, and I also saw that in other kicks that it does have this kind of feature that some sounds are going either up or down, and I just tried to create such a sound, and I just put the isotope trash to the bipolar mode, yeah, and just push these to these directions, so you can just drag them. That's it. And I didn't even bow or bend them in any way. Yeah, and I get this sound is quite a very important one. Yeah. So let's just deactivate this and listen again. Yeah, it's a very important one. Why does this sample look strange, and why is there still written Distorted 99? I don't actually want to tell you what I did there. It's very stupid. I actually took the sample and decided just to cut off everything. So just imagine this would be the sample I want here, and I just cut out these things just in the right order. So always these thick things there I wanted to keep, and the rest I didn't want. And yeah, and then you can kind of press CMDJ and consolidate them, and you get this sample again. And I know that looks very silly, and I hope yeah, that looks very silly, but who cares? It's the sound I wanted, and that's why it's actually nice. So it's bypassed now. There we go. Okay, so yeah, just cut your samples. If you need something like this, why not just cut it? So it's cool. Alrighty, the last thing I want to talk about is this one and this one. So these are actually the last things. The main high-end tail. Okay, this is the main tail. Did we have something else? No, I guess that's it. Okay, this is another I just added to the main tail. And this has a very full body, so I didn't do much here. So it had to do something for me. So I kind of got some nice sound. Actually, I was looking for this nice, I thought it was in here, that nice even, yeah, strange looking EQ, but might be that it was this one, but I'm quite sure it wasn't. Probably on the main tail. Yeah. Okay, so this is just another one which I just added to create movement. Okay, so with now. It's going down more now, and now it kind of lags. Okay, the last. This is the bass. So this is 909, just per plane 909, driven to hell twice, and high cut it. And yeah, I took out a frequency which I didn't like. That's it. It's very simple actually. Okay, this is going to the main tail, and I guess that's the EQ I was looking for. Yes. Okay, let's switch that off and you will see how much it affects. So that's only the EQ. Yeah, there is no recipe to create these things, to create these, I don't know, Scottish Highlands or Alps or whatever. Yeah, it's just trying, and you find something good, or you compare your kick with using span and just having another kick on another channel and using span, and you just see, okay, there is in this kick there is a frequency here, you know, there is or let it be here, so there's a lot of going on, a lot of frequencies doing something here in this area, and you don't have them, so why not to try to raise them with an EQ if you have some there at all. Yeah, and I did that. I just used a sample or just to compare, and I looked at it and I saw, okay, there is something that I don't have, or there is something that I have that the other doesn't have, so I just took it down or brought it up. Yeah, and that's how I got this. So I didn't low cut it, but I just do that in the mix down later. Okay, this is the main tail, and this merges together in the main kick. Ooh, the final one. So there's again some, yeah, push it to make it mono. Saturation, just tiny bit. I think not to go beyond 0 or something. I put that, I don't know. Yeah, made it louder, so you can actually pull that down. I just put it to hear it better, as my interface is working on 0 decibel now. And another span to see the whole kick. And this is already a very nice shape. So normal hardstyle kick usually looks like this. So if you have that kind of some thing in the middle, the penis there, and yeah, a nice bass and a nice high end, then you know you're somehow right. I could actually, if you're interested, I could show you in this kick, which was remade by this guy I already showed. I don't know. It's supposed to be some Brennan Hart kick. You can judge if this is a Brennan Hart kick. Oops, let's switch on and let's take the whole thing so we can see that better. Ah, come on. So I don't like it that much. It's too, don't know, there's too much reverb for me. I don't like it when it has so much reverb. Okay, yeah, let's just put span and you will see very similar shape. High end, there's much high end. There's the penis and there's the low end. And we can actually take the kick which I produced and just put it and just see it, compare it. Okay, something that doesn't work now. I don't know why. Anyway, yeah, that's how I do it. And that's how I create some nice euphoric kicks, which work pretty well in the mix. I would like to open another project, which I'm currently working on, to show you the kick in action. So I will just show you the very drop part, give you a few seconds so that you can hear that the kick is working within the mix. And that's so far everything I wanted to tell you about the normal hardstyle kicks. Yeah, you can of course change, you can do whatever you want. You can add some kind of raw punch to this, so you can just get your character raw sounding. You can get less of this high-end stuff. You can get more harder sounds. You can get it even softer. Yeah, you can do whatever you want. That's nice. So this is just some kind of idea that I wanted to give you. Yeah, how you can possibly create hardstyle kicks. So these are just some other versions of the same kick which I produced. Yeah, so this was another try, just some other type of kick, and you can see that it also looks differently. Yeah, it's got a bit more movement, more high end, but I don't like it that much. So it's not the worst kick I ever produced. You actually want to hear my worst kick? I'm going to show you my worst kick. My first hardstyle kick I ever produced. You will just love. I'm telling you, it's that one, I guess. Must be F or G. Yeah, that's nice, isn't it? That's a hardstyle kick, and if you now look at this, it actually even looks like shit. Yeah. So, yeah, that's where I started. All right. So I will open up another project just to show you the kick in action. It will take a few seconds, so meanwhile I will just talk. Yeah, and if you want to know anything about the kicks, if you want to ask questions, how to do something, how to fix something, how to whatever, you can of course comment and ask me, and I might have an answer. But I'm honestly and really telling you, producing kicks, and I know people that produce kicks, so I'm not the only one in my sphere that is actually producing kicks. So I know some people that are also trying that, and they all say it's like trying, and that's the real way. So it took me 2 weeks to create this, 2 weeks of probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 hours a day. So it's not even much. So you can even take more. It can even take more time. So I guess I was quite fast even. So yeah, that's the thing. You have to try it. You have to try, and start with the bass sample and put some character sample on it. Work that out till you like it. And if there is something that lacks the kickoff, just take another sample and layer that. Get your low cuts right. So not to have like biting frequencies or something. Yeah, and that's the way. So the project has loaded. It takes a lot of time because these are, I think, 75 channels already. So I will just show you the drop with the kick, the real final kick that we also heard in the project. Yeah, so you will just see that the kick is actually working, and I hope you will get interested in the song. So listen up. Sorry guys, this was the raw drop. I won't show you the raw drop. I just want to show you the euphoric drop. All right, it's that one. And probably we should get it a little bit. Yeah, okay, that's good. All right, yeah, you could hear the kick working. Yeah, that's the kick, which you saw in the tutorial. So it even has the same color. I pitched that in Adobe Audition. If you're interested in how to pitch the kick, actually you should just watch the video by Headhunters. He's got some kind of masterclass video on YouTube. And in the last 10 minutes, I guess he's showing how to pitch kicks. And I just did it like he did. And I guess for me, it's also the best technique to do it. As the pitching in Adobe Audition sounds very nice. You can switch between two algorithms, between the isotope radius and the Audition algorithm, and I kind of sometimes use the Audition algorithm as it works on low pitch better than on high pitch, and in high pitch I use the isotope. Yeah, you just try that out, what you like more, and pitch them, and watch the video, and you will see how to do it. It's a nice thing actually. So yeah, I'm now actually again making some advertisement for CMM, but I'm really not wanting to, so I'm not paid by anyone. All right, I hope you liked the ideas of how to produce kick, and the techniques that I could probably show you. I hope I could show you some techniques. I hope that you learned a bit, and if you have any questions, ask me, of course. And so far, goodbye.